Welcome to my Chanel Most Worth Coins WC Today videos is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of top 8 United States of America 5-cent coins, so let's get it started. The 1974 United States 5-cent coin, popularly known as the Jefferson nickel, is a significant piece of American numismatic history. Though it may appear to be just another modern coin, its design, historical background, composition, and collectible value make it a fascinating subject for collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Minted during a time of economic fluctuation and political change, the 1974 nickel stands as a quiet yet enduring symbol of American stability and continuity in coinage design. Design and composition. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and was designed by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson's image is clean and dignified, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" to the left, "Liberty" to the right, followed by the year of issue, in this case, 1974. The reverse side of the coin showcases Jefferson's Virginia estate, Monticello, a neoclassical architectural marvel that remains one of the most iconic presidential homes in American history. The reverse also includes the inscriptions E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. The elegant balance between design and symbolism is one of the reasons why the Jefferson nickel has remained largely unchanged for decades. In 1974, the nickel was minted using a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard alloy for the denomination since 1866, except during World War II when a special silver composition was used to conserve nickel for the war effort. The coin weighs 5.00 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters with a smooth, non-reeded edge. Mintage and mint marks. The 1974 Jefferson nickel was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Each mint produced a different quantity of coins, serving different purposes: circulation, collector sets, and proof coins. 1974, no mint mark. Philadelphia mint. Approximately 601,752,000 coins were struck. 1974D, Denver mint. Roughly 277,373,000 coins were minted. 1974S proof, a San Francisco mint. Around 2,612,568 proof coins were specially made for collectors. The large mintage numbers for the Philadelphia and Denver coins make the 1974 nickel quite common in circulated condition. However, high-grade examples, particularly those in mint state 67 and above, are more desirable and relatively scarce. The year 1974 was an eventful one in American history. The United States was still embroiled in the fallout from the Watergate scandal, which would eventually lead to the resignation of President Richard Nixon in 1974. Economically, the nation was dealing with inflation and the aftermath of the 1973 oil crisis. Amidst these turbulent times, the coinage of the country remained consistent, and the Jefferson nickel continued to be a cornerstone of daily commerce. Coin collecting during this period was experiencing a rise in popularity, especially among baby boomers who were starting to take an interest in hobbies that reflected American heritage and history. As a result, coins from the 1970s, though not rare, gained attention as accessible entry points for new collectors. From a collector's perspective, the 1974 Jefferson nickel is generally considered a common coin, particularly in circulated condition. In most cases, circulated specimens are worth only face value. However, the value increases with condition and rarity of specific strike characteristics. Coins graded MS66 and above, mint state, can command premiums, especially if they are full steps FS designations. A full steps designation refers to the visibility of at least 5 full steps at the base of Monticello on the reverse side, which indicates a strong and well-executed strike, something not always achieved due to worn dies or striking pressure issues. Collectors pay particular attention to this detail when assessing the quality of a Jefferson nickel. For example, a 1974 D Jefferson nickel with full steps in MS67 condition can fetch $100 or more at auction, depending on appeal and population reports. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also have collectible appeal, particularly when graded PR69 or PR70 by major grading services like PCGS or NGC. While the 1974 Jefferson nickel does not have any well-known major varieties like doubled dies or repunched mint marks that would significantly elevate its value, error coins are always a point of interest. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks are examples of mint errors that can occasionally be found on 1974 nickels and are worth a premium to collectors who specialize in error coins. These types of mint errors can range in value depending on severity and visual impact. For instance, a dramatically off-center 1974 nickel might sell for $20 to $50 or more, depending on how much of the design is missing and whether the date is still visible. Beyond its monetary value, the 1974 nickel serves as a small yet meaningful piece of American culture. It represents not only Thomas Jefferson and his contributions to American democracy, but also the endurance of American coin design through decades of change. The Jefferson nickel has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, only being replaced with a new obverse in 2006 during the Westward Journey series, although Monticello was eventually restored to the reverse. This coin is often used in educational settings to introduce students to U.S. history, the basics of numismatics, and the function of currency in society. Its accessibility makes it a great starting point for beginner collectors, especially younger ones developing an interest in American history or coin collecting. The 1974 Jefferson nickel may not appear rare or remarkable at first glance, but it offers much more upon closer inspection. From its classic design and sturdy composition to its role in the economy and appeal to collectors, it represents the enduring legacy of American coinage. Whether found in pocket change, inherited from a family member's collection, or picked up at a coin show, this simple 5-cent piece continues to tell the story of America, one coin at a time. The 1980 United States 5-cent coin, widely recognized as the Jefferson nickel, is part of one of the longest-running coin series in American history. Though often overlooked due to its ubiquity, the 1980 nickel reflects a period of subtle transition in American coinage and society. It continues the original design first introduced in 1938 by German-born sculptor Felix Schlag, who won a public competition held by the U.S. Mint to redesign the nickel. Schlag's design honored Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, author of the Declaration of Independence, and founder of the University of Virginia. On the obverse front of the coin, Jefferson is depicted in a left-facing bust. His image is flanked by the motto "In God We Trust" on the left and the word "Liberty" on the right, followed by the year of minting, 1980, and a small star that separates the date from the word "Liberty." The reverse, back, of the coin showcases a finely detailed image of Monticello, Jefferson's neoclassical estate located in Virginia. Above the dome of Monticello is the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. Below the estate are the inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. The coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, weighs 5.00 grams, and has a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The edge of the coin is plain and smooth, as is standard for nickels. The 1980 Jefferson nickel was struck at 3 U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Each mint produced a different class of coins for both circulation and collector purposes. The Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark until 1980 for certain denominations, struck approximately 593,556,000 nickels, while the Denver Mint produced about 456,188,000 pieces. Interestingly, 1980 marked the first time that the Philadelphia Mint began consistently using the P mint mark on nickels, making this year especially notable in the Jefferson series. The San Francisco Mint, known primarily for proof coinage, produced about 3,554,806 proof coins designated as 1980s. These proof coins were not released for general circulation but were included in special collector sets and are distinguishable by their high-quality strike, mirror-like fields, and frosted devices. The total mintage across all 3 facilities topped over 1 billion coins, making the 1980 nickel a highly common issue in terms of volume. Still, within this large mintage lie countless coins of varying condition, strike quality, and potential collector value. From a historical standpoint, the year 1980 was a turbulent time in the United States. America was struggling with high inflation, economic uncertainty, and global tensions. Ronald Reagan had just won the presidency in a decisive election that marked the end of Jimmy Carter's term. The Cold War was still very much alive, and Americans were adjusting to rising fuel prices and interest rates. In the midst of such a climate, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins with consistency and reliability. The Jefferson nickel, as a daily-use denomination, served as a quiet symbol of economic normalcy. Coin designs were still relatively traditional, with little of the commemorative flair that would become common in later decades. The 1980 Jefferson nickel offers several points of interest. In circulated condition, these coins are extremely common and typically hold no premium above face value. However, uncirculated and mint state MS examples, especially those graded MS66 and above, are much scarcer and more valuable. One of the most prized features among collectors is the full steps FS designation. This refers to the number of fully struck, visible steps at the base of Monticello. For a nickel to be designated as full steps, usually 5 or 6 steps, it must show sharp detail, which requires a strong strike and well-maintained dies, not always guaranteed, especially in high-mintage years like 1980. A 1980D or 1980P nickel in MS66 full steps can sell for $50 to $150 or more, depending on appeal and population rarity. Top-grade examples, MS67FS, are even rarer and can command higher premiums at auction. While the value isn't astronomical, it highlights the importance of condition and strike quality in numismatics, even for common dates. The 1980S proof coin is another notable variant, particularly desirable in high-proof grades like PR69 and PR70 Deep Cameo, DCAM. These coins are generally found in collector sets, often untouched by circulation. In top condition, they can be valued at $10 to $25, though prices vary depending on market demand and certified population. These coins serve as excellent examples of the minting process at its most refined and are popular among collectors building Jefferson nickel-proof sets. Though the 1980 nickel lacks dramatic varieties or well-known mint errors, error coins from this year do exist and are eagerly sought by specialists. Examples include off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, clipped planches, and strike-throughs. The value of these error coins is heavily dependent on their visibility and severity. For instance, a noticeable off-center 1980 nickel with a clear date could fetch $30 to $100 or more, while a dramatic strike-through involving grease or foreign objects may draw interest from collectors looking for unusual minting anomalies. Despite being minted in the billions, these rare manufacturing mistakes provide a niche within the broader world of Jefferson nickels. Culturally, the 1980 nickel represents the late Cold War era, a time when the U.S. was moving from the social revolutions of the 1960s and 70s into a more conservative, economically driven decade. In a world before debit cards and digital payments, nickels were still an everyday tool for vending machines, payphones, buses, and small purchases. The Jefferson nickel, simple in appearance yet rich in heritage, has long been a constant companion in American pockets and purses, helping define commerce at the most basic level. Over the decades, millions of these coins have moved through hands, registers, and coin jars, often unnoticed, yet always reliable. In conclusion, while the 1980 Jefferson nickel is abundant and readily available in most conditions, it holds a quiet significance in both numismatic and historical terms. Its design honors one of the most influential figures in American history, and its production reflects the continuity of U.S. coinage through a period of national change. Whether you find one in your pocket or carefully store one in a collector's album, the 1980 nickel serves as a tangible piece of Americana, humble, hard-working, and steeped in tradition. For those willing to look beyond the surface, this small coin tells a big story about America, its people, and its enduring ideals. The 1989 United States 5-cent coin, widely recognized as the Jefferson nickel, represents a continuation of a long-standing tradition in American coinage. This coin, though seemingly ordinary and found in vast quantities across the country, holds historical, artistic, and numismatic significance that spans generations. First introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, the Jefferson nickel was designed by Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor who won the design competition organized by the U.S. Mint. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson, one of the most revered founding fathers, the author of the Declaration of Independence, and the third President of the United States. On the 1989 nickel, Jefferson is rendered in a neoclassical style that conveys dignity and intellect. Along the left rim of the coin is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while on the right side are the word liberty and the year of minting, 1989, separated by a small star. The reverse side of the coin features Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, a domed architectural structure in Virginia that he designed himself. Above Monticello is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the states. Below the building, the inscriptions read Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Despite its simplicity, the design is considered one of the most enduring in American coin history, having remained in use, with only minor changes, for nearly 70 years. The 1989 Jefferson nickel was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia mint produced approximately 643,764,000 coins, while the Denver mint struck around 563,908,000 pieces. These totals reflect the continued high demand for circulating coinage during the late 1980s, a period of economic growth and consumer activity in the United States. The San Francisco Mint, on the other hand, focused on producing proof coins specifically for collectors, and about 3,220,194 of these 1989 S nickels were minted. These proof coins are easily distinguishable by their mirror-like finish and are struck using specially polished dies and planches to create high-definition detail and a beautiful contrast between the frosted devices and shiny fields. The standard composition of the 1989 nickel remains the same as previous decades: 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-gray color. It has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, a weight of 5.00 grams, and a plain, smooth edge. While the 1989 Jefferson nickel is not rare in circulation and is still commonly found in pocket change today, its numismatic value depends heavily on condition and strike quality. Most circulated examples are worth face value, but uncirculated or mint state MS coins, especially those with a full steps FS designation on the reverse, are far more desirable to collectors. A full steps nickel shows at least 5 clearly separated steps at the base of Monticello, indicating a strong, well-struck example. These coins are harder to find due to die wear and minting variations, making high-grade FS examples from 1989 particularly appealing. For example, a 1989 D nickel-graded MS67 full steps by PCGS or NGC can command prices between $50 to over $150, depending on market demand and the coin's visual appeal. Coins graded MS65 and below are generally common and have minimal value beyond face unless part of a full date and mint mark set. The year 1989 itself holds historical significance in both American and global contexts. In the United States, President George H.W. Bush had just taken office in January, following the 2-term presidency of Ronald Reagan. The Cold War was nearing its end, and in November 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, marking the beginning of the collapse of communist regimes in Eastern Europe. While the Jefferson nickel doesn't directly reflect these global events, it was the coin in the pockets of Americans during this transformative year in world history. Economically, the U.S. was enjoying the tail end of a prolonged period of growth, and coinage production remained strong to meet the needs of expanding commercial activity. In terms of collecting, the 1989 Jefferson nickel serves as a readily available and affordable option for both novice and seasoned collectors. Because it's part of the long-running Jefferson series, it is often included in date and mint mark sets, which many collectors build from circulation or purchase as part of uncirculated mint sets. The 1989 S-proof nickel is especially popular among those who collect modern proof sets, and when found in PR69 or PR70 Deep Cameo (DCAM) grades, these coins can be valued at around $10 to $20, though premiums rise for perfect specimens with exceptional contrast and clarity. Error coins from 1989 also generate collector interest. Although no major varieties or dramatic die errors are officially catalogued for this year, there have been reported examples of off-center strikes, clipped planches, die cracks, and strike-through errors on 1989 nickels. The value of such errors varies depending on severity, visibility, and overall condition. For example, a well-struck off-center error retaining the full date can sell for $25 to $75 or more, especially if the coin is visually striking and well-preserved. These error coins offer an added layer of intrigue for those exploring modern minting anomalies. The Jefferson nickel design has become a symbol of American resilience and tradition. From 1938 through 2003, Felix Schlag's design remained largely untouched, a rare feat in the constantly evolving landscape of U.S. currency. Although the series received a major redesign in 2004 and 2005 with the Westward Journey nickels to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition, the original Monticello reverse was restored in 2006, reaffirming the lasting legacy of the 1938 artwork. As such, the 1989 Jefferson nickel occupies an important position in this timeline, serving as a final chapter of the classic design era before major changes swept through American coinage in the early 21st century. The 1989 Jefferson nickel may not be rare or highly valuable in most cases, but it encapsulates a fascinating period in both numismatic and global history. With its enduring design, accessible nature, and potential for high-grade or error finds, the coin remains a quiet cornerstone of U.S. pocket change and a key player in many collections. Whether discovered in loose change or preserved in a collector's album, the 1989 nickel tells a story of artistry, history, and everyday American life, one that continues to resonate with those who take the time to look a little closer. The 1998 United States 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, is a piece of American currency that, although often passed over in daily commerce, holds considerable historical, cultural, and collector significance. Continuing the iconic design introduced in 1938 by sculptor Felix Schlag, the 1998 nickel reflects a period of transition, both in American society and in the evolving landscape of numismatics. The obverse of the coin features a detailed left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, third President of the United States, and a central figure in shaping the nation's democratic ideals. Jefferson's profile, with its neoclassical influence, is flanked by the inscription "In God We Trust" on the left and "Liberty" followed by the year 1998 on the right. A small 5-point star separates the word "Liberty" from the date, adding symmetry and balance to the design. The reverse of the coin proudly displays Monticello, Jefferson's plantation estate in Virginia, beneath the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. The central building is rendered with fine detail, including its columned portico and domed rooftop. Below Monticello are the inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. The coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, weighs 5.00 grams, and has a plain edge. Its composition, unchanged since 1946, consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery-gray appearance that has become instantly recognizable over generations. The 1998 nickel was minted at 3 United States mint facilities: Philadelphia, P., Denver, D., and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia mint produced around 809,332,000 nickels, marked with a P to the right of Jefferson's bust. The Denver mint, which used the D mint mark, struck approximately 915,050,000 nickels. These 2 facilities produced the regular circulation strikes intended for everyday use. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint, known for its high-quality proof coinage for collectors, struck about 2,086,507 proof nickels, marked with an S. These proof coins were specially minted using polished dies and planchets to achieve a sharp, mirrored finish and fine detail. As such, 1998 S nickels are typically found in proof sets and exhibit the deep cameo contrast between frosted devices and mirrored fields, highly valued by collectors. The combined production across all 3 mints pushed the total mintage of 1,998 nickels over 1.7 billion, making them abundant and readily available in circulation. However, the high mintage figures also mean that only nickels in exceptional condition or with special features have significant numismatic value. While most circulated 1998 nickels are only worth their face value of 5 cents, their collectible potential lies in uncirculated mint state examples and those with specific design features, like the highly coveted full steps FS designation. On the reverse side, the base of Monticello has a set of stairs that, when fully struck, show 5 or 6 distinct, uninterrupted steps. Nickels that display this level of sharpness and clarity, typically graded MS65 or higher, can command a premium, especially when slabbed and certified by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC. A 1998D or 1998P nickel with full steps in MS67 grade can fetch $50 to $150 or more, depending on demand and population reports. Though not extremely rare, these high-grade full steps coins are much harder to find due to the fast, high-volume production processes of the U.S. Mint in the late 1990s, which often resulted in weaker strikes and lower die quality over time. From a historical and cultural perspective, The year 1998 was an eventful one in the United States. President Bill Clinton was in his second term, and America was experiencing a time of relative peace and economic prosperity. The dot-com boom was transforming technology and finance, and the country was on the verge of a new millennium. Yet even as digital culture was on the rise, physical currency like the Jefferson nickel continued to serve its role in the everyday transactions of millions of Americans. The nickel remained a durable and trusted coin, used in vending machines, parking meters, and cash registers, and represented the enduring legacy of one of the founding fathers. Despite advances in credit systems and electronic payments, coinage continued to symbolize national heritage and identity. The Jefferson nickel, with its dignified portrait and historic symbolism, quietly reminded users of America's roots and aspirations. In the world of modern coin collecting, 1998 nickels have carved a niche for those completing date and mint mark sets, especially in Jefferson nickel albums that span from 1938 to the present. Collectors often seek original bank rolls, uncirculated mint sets, and high-grade individual coins for registry sets. The 1998 S-proof nickel is a favorite among proof collectors, and coins graded PR69 or PR70 Deep Cameo (DCAM), with flawless surfaces and strong contrast, can be valued at $10 to $25, depending on market trends. While not rare, these coins exemplify modern minting precision and are often used to showcase how far proof coinage quality had come by the end of the 20th century. Although the 1998 Jefferson nickel does not feature any widely recognized major errors or varieties, a few minor die errors and planchette flaws have been observed by collectors and cherry pickers. These include off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planches, which can sometimes add significant value depending on severity and eye appeal. A 1998 nickel with a dramatic 20 to 30% off-center strike and full date might fetch $25 to $75 or more, especially if uncirculated. These anomalies not only offer visual interest but also tell the behind-the-scenes story of how modern coins are made, from blanking and striking to quality control. In conclusion, the 1998 Jefferson nickel stands as a reliable, well-struck, and culturally rich example of late 20th century American coinage. While it may not be rare or overwhelmingly valuable in most conditions, its significance lies in its legacy, accessibility, and representation of American ideals. It marked one of the final years of the traditional schlag design before the nickel would undergo major changes in the early 2000s with the Westward Journey series beginning in 2004. As such, the 1998 nickel serves as a symbolic close to a chapter in U.S. numismatic history, encapsulating a time when coins were still common in daily life, yet the future of digital payments loomed just ahead. Whether kept in a change jar, passed along in daily transactions, or tucked into a collector's album in pristine condition, the 1998 Jefferson nickel tells a timeless story of American history, craftsmanship, and continuity.